Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe the fact I got a flight at 6 adds to the mystique of what might exist. Like your Instagram.
What's going on, YouTube? This is Greg Ferris with MyoBrain, and I want to share with you kind of my game plan for my meet, which is in 6 days. Probably not from when you're actually seeing this. Yeah, I get the hair gains back. Probably not from when you're actually seeing this, but it's 6 days out for me. So today is Sunday, April 19th, and I compete on the 25th. So 6 days out, pretty much 5 days out. I'm probably not going to do too much footage with like my 1 week out training, because it's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to like hit my openers and then do some technique work between 55 and 65%. Very minimal accessory works, just some light active recovery, rowing, lunges, stuff like that, so I don't feel like a total fat ass. But nothing really exciting about the week out. It's kind of like peak week for bodybuilding. People think like it's this really cool, like awesome thing. We do all this weird shit. Like, no, it's just like a very boring week. So what I'm going to share with you guys, though, are my proposed lifts for the meet, since this is something I think a lot of people probably still don't do very well. I would say the number one mistake I see with, I wouldn't even just say first time powerlifters, but just powerlifters in general, again, more on that novice to novice intermediate range, is they open way too heavy comparative to their 1 rep max, and they don't have a good idea of what a realistic expectation of what a meet PR actually looks like. They want to hit a 20-30 pound PR. Unless you just totally sandbag it in the gym, you shouldn't be hitting 20-pound PRs in 2 months, right? Unless you have a huge technique change or something like that, or again, you're very, very low trained. So I'm just going to kind of go through what my attempts are going to be, some rationale behind them, and hopefully that gives you some insight if you're going to do a meet yourself. So let me see if I can get my whole entire board in here. Okay, so we'll start off with what I think, this is inverted, so give me a break here. We'll start off with what I think is probably really important for anyone to understand, is that my best gym lifts are right here. And again, I put this, because I'm a super nice guy, in kilos and pounds. So you're welcome, everyone in the world, okay? So my best gym lifts as of, just this last week are going to be, during this prep, of course, because who cares if it's not during this prep. Take your best gym lifts during this prep with the equipment you're using, with all of that stuff, right? 445 pound or 455 pound squat, a 290 pound bench press, and a 510 pound deadlift, okay? So that sets the stage for all the stuff I'm about to show you. 455, 290, 510 is my best gym lifts, right? Okay, so now moving on to the squat. This is really rough, but now moving on to the squat. My proposed opener, again, number one right here, is going to be about 407. Again, I'm going to lift in a meet. They're going to have kilos there, so I have to convert all of that stuff over. So I think that's 185 kilos, 407 pounds. And again, I said my best gym lift during this prep is 455, okay? That's about a 50-pound difference that I'm opening up with. To give you some kind of context, I have hit 405 for a set of 5 before. That's giving you an idea of how light I'm opening up, okay? And then I'm moving on to about 432 pounds, I think this is. 432 and a half or something like that. Again, this is 20 pounds under my best gym performance, okay? So 405, you should totally smash that. Like, the bar shouldn't even slow down, okay? People should be like, was that a warm-up? It should be. Your first lift should be a warm-up. Your second lift should be something you can hit like 99% of the days of the year. Like if you don't have a lot of sleep, like if you're pissed, if you're happy, no music, a lot of music, people pissed you off, whatever. You should still be able to hit this number like almost all the time. I'm really confident that I can hit 432 and a half pretty much under any circumstances, okay? And this second lift is going to kind of be a gauge based on the speed of how aggressive you want this third lift to be. So the third lift is really where you want to go for your PR. You do not want to try to hit the PR on the second lift, and sure as hell not on the first lift, okay? Because if you miss it, you're fucked. So treat the first two like a warm-up, kind of like you were going to try to hit a 1 rep max in the gym. You wouldn't just jump from like 360 to 450. You would take small, moderate jumps. just because it's competition doesn't mean you don't have to do it like that, right? So 407 totally smashed, doesn't slow down at all. 432, I can see, okay, how does that normally feel for me based on what 432 feels like? Was it slow? Was it fast? Am I feeling good? Blah, blah, blah. How's the bar? All of that stuff. I can kind of auto-regulate all that stuff and then see, okay, what should I do with this final attempt? So your third attempt's going to be the big joker all the time. So I kind of have some options here. I can't really see this, so let me kind of turn around. Okay, so the third lift, I kind of have a proposed number I want to hit of 462, which obviously would be a 7-pound PR for me. I think that's about 210 kilo lift, okay? And I kind of have some other numbers down here. This is 467 and a half or 212 and a half kilos. I can have this as a bonus. I think this is probably what I'm maximally capable of under my best circumstances. So again, this is kind of thinking of best case scenario. If I just totally smash 432 and a half, maybe I go up even up a little bit from here because 405 felt so good. This is probably what I'm going to be maximally capable of in 6 days from now. And then this 456 and a half would still be a 1.5 pound PR. So if I didn't feel great, wasn't super confident, today's just not my day, I can still take this 207 and a half kilo lift and get a 1.5 pound PR. Again, is that super awesome? 1.5 pounds? No. But you can't be arrogant. If you're not feeling it that day, you have to just say, I'll take a 1.5 pound PR and move on to the next lift, okay? So now moving on to bench press. And again, the concepts don't really change with the lifts, honestly. Now moving on to bench press, opening up super light again. 253. I think I've hit 253 or around that number for a set of 4 before. So very, very light. And again, the big thing with bench press is you're going to have to go off someone else's pause command, which most people do not practice. So I would even recommend going lighter than light, okay? Be very conservative. Same thing with the squat. If you're a person who's iffy on depth, go lighter than light when you open. You're not going to miss your first lift because of depth, and now you're just totally mentally in a very bad position, okay? So bench press, I definitely think you should open up a little bit lighter than you think because of that external pause command. Even if you normally do a good enough pause, it's different when someone actually is telling you it versus you anticipating the press command, right? Okay, so 253, obviously I'm going to take smaller jumps with the bench press because I'm not as absolutely strong with the bench press. So my second lift is 275. I'll probably have this footage up, but I actually ended up hitting 275 with some external cue or external press commands, I think for 3 singles, probably around 9 days out. So that's something I'm pretty confident I can hit. Again, almost under any circumstances. I wasn't feeling great that day. Bench hasn't been feeling super awesome for me. So that'll be, I think, the big wild card for me. But I still think I can hit 275 under any circumstances, honestly, which is 125 kgs. And then kind of for my projected third lift, I have 286 or 130 kgs, which, you know, is not even a PR because I said down the bottom, my best gym lift is 290. So if you can see here, kind of the bonus I have is 291 and a half or 132 and a half kilos. So that would kind of be the ultimate idea. But again, being kind of objective with where I'm sitting right now, bench press has not felt awesome since I've had to decrease my frequency as I've increased my squat frequency. So I'm not just going to say my best lift is 290, I'm going for 295. I have to see how it feels that day. Again, if I crush this 275, I still have enough in me to go for this PR. If not, I'm okay with being a little bit humble and hitting 4 pounds under my best, okay? So that's the protocol for bench press. And then for deadlift, more of the same. Opening up 451, very light. I think I've hit that for like 4 or 5 before. I also think for deadlift, the 2 things you have to consider. Number 1, it's absolutely the strongest lift for almost everyone. So I would recommend bigger percentage jumps, okay? So, or not percentage jumps, bigger absolute jumps, right? So considering my best deadlift is 510, a 10% jump in a deadlift would be about 50 pounds for me versus a 10% jump in bench press would be about 29 pounds for me, right? So if you think about lifts in terms of percentage jumps, they shouldn't be too different, but in absolute terms, they look a little bit like, wow, that's a big jump, right? So 451, My second one, 484. Again, that's pretty damn light. That's 30 pounds under my best gym PR, around 30 pounds. But again, the other factor you have to think about for deadlifts is the bar. You're used to training with a certain bar, with a certain amount of chalk, a certain amount of warm-up, all that stuff. You're also going to be the most fatigued during this lift since you're going to have 2 other lifts before this. So again, this is another big wild card there with you have to be objective with how you feel that day. So I'm really confident on pretty much any fucking bar in the world. I could pull 484, you know, maybe without chalk, right? So really confident there. And then for my third lift, I'm going for about 517, which is 235 kgs. Again, that would be a 7-pound PR for me. And again, based on how this 484 felt, maybe if their bar is a little bit more, not grippy, whippy, if the bars are more whippy than I expected, and I'm feeling really good, I may go up a little bit heavier here for this 484, and then that might set me up a little bit better for this number here, which is 528, I believe, which would be an 18-pound PR. I gotta be very, very happy with that. It's kind of a bonus lift. But again, the key here is you have to look at what all the factors that are going in, and you see I'm opening up really, really light. 451, 253, and 407. And again, that's just kind of being 6 days out, not knowing too much. But I think that'll probably be a good idea of a place for me to start. And then kind of my overall goals for the meet down there in the low middle. The first one is 9 for 9. That means make all my lifts. Very simple goal that I think a lot of people don't have, nor do they achieve. But of course, being 9 for 9 makes it easier to get the highest possible total, because if you miss a lift, you're not going to have the highest total you probably could have. So 9 for 9 is the first goal. And the second goal is a 580 kg, or about a 1,275 pound total. So again, that would entail me PRing at least 1 lift and probably 2 lifts to reach that mark. So 1,275, I think would be very good for me. I'll probably make another video a few days out, maybe 1 or 2 days out in my hotel room, super dramatic, the day before the meet, blah, 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 blah. No, but probably some of my thoughts and stuff leading up to it, and you know, some of the psychology I think about competition. But I wanted to kind of give that rundown of the game plan for me, for you guys, of my game plan. Hopefully that helps some of you guys if you haven't done a meet before, or if you're looking to do a meet or something like that, just more educated with it. I think that will be a good piece for you guys. So that's it for the video. Make sure you go check out my website, myobrain.squarespace.com. Check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, on the Twitters, Greg Ferris or MyoBrain. Just Google it. You'll find it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. We got like 1,500 subscribers right now, which is pretty cool. And that's it, guys. Thanks for the support during prep. All you guys, the cool comments are helpful. So thanks, guys.